Okay.
Right, Mr. Mayor, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay. Good evening, councillors, officers, and members of the public viewing on YouTube.
Mr.
The
Mayor,
first item of business
Yeah.
is apologies for absence. Are there any apologies, please?
Mr. Mayor, apologies. Yes, Councillor Galt indicated she may be running late, but she hoped to join the meeting later.
Okay. Anyone else?
Councillor Brown, Councillor Kane.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The next item is declarations of interest. Does any councillor present wish to make any declarations of interest in respect to any of the items on the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, sorry, again from Councillor Galt, she indicated when she does join the meeting, she does have a personal and prejudicial interest in the exempt item, so would withdraw from the meeting at that point, assuming she's joined.
Okay. Thank you. The next item is the minutes of the previous full council meetings held on the 26th of August 2020 and the 15th of September 2020. Are there any comments relating to the accuracy of these minutes?
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Davey wishes to come in.
Okay, Councillor Dady.
Right, thank you. Yes, it relates to the 26th of August meeting. I'm not listed as being there when actually I was in attendance.
I'll amend that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dady. Anyone else? Okay. I move that the minutes of the full council meetings be confirmed as the correct record. Please may I see a seconder?
Seconded.
I saw Councillor Isles first. All those in favour of confirming the minutes? Those against? And abstentions? Okay, thank you. There are no mayor's announcements. No public petitions have been received and no public questions have been received. We now move on to receive the minutes of the committee and panel meetings held during the last cycle. Any questions relating to items of business where exempt information is likely to be disclosed should be raised when considering the minutes of the appropriate committee meeting. Should any such questions be raised, then after consideration of the remaining minutes, a resolution to exclude the public will be made and the questions may be put and answered. The next item are the minutes of the One Corby policy meeting. Do councillors have any queries or comments they wish to make?
I can't see any hands raised,
No.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay, please can I see Councillor Tom Beattie to move the minutes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'm happy to move the minutes of the aforesaid meeting of the One Corby Policy Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. And can I see a seconder, please? Councillor Addison. All those in favour of receiving the minutes, please show your hands. Those against? And any abstentions? Thank you.
That's fine.
Okay, the next item are the minutes of the Development Control Committee. Do any councillors have any queries or comments they wish to make on these? No. Okay, if there are no further comments, please can I see Councillor Julie Riley to move the minutes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm happy to move the minutes of the Development Control Committee, Wednesday the 7th of October.
And thank you. And can I see a seconder, please?
Second up.
Oh, Thanks, Councillor Latta. All those in favour of receiving the minutes, please show hands. Thank you. Those against? Abstentions? Thank you.
That's fine, Mr. Mayor.
Next item are the minutes for Audit and Governance Committee meeting. Do councillors have any queries or comments they wish to make on this?
Councillor Isles has his hand raised.
Yeah,
Mr.
Councillor
Mayor.
Isles.
Got it. I'll move now. The question I've got is, could Adrian please tell us how EY are getting on with resolving the 2018-19 minutes, and if there's any movement on the 19-20 minutes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I presume when you say the minutes, do you mean the accounts?
Oh, sorry, the account. Sorry, Adrian.
Yep, that's fine. I did email you. I think I emailed you a couple of weeks ago saying that every time we ask the question on this, we're told it'd be we're told there'll be another couple of weeks. And that's been going on for about 6 weeks now, and I think we've laid that Audit and Governance Committee. The latest position I have for the 18-19 accounts is that we now have further questions to answer, which will be finished by the end of this week. I can't tell you then when EY will finish those questions or whether they'll come back with more. As I say, I've been told each week by them that this should take a further 2 weeks, but I've been told that for the last 2 months now. Once that's finalised, I've got no reason to suggest that that won't be finalised within a few weeks, based on what I've just said. I'm then told that they won't be in a position to start the 19-20 audit until at least after Christmas or in the new year, because they won't have resources available to do that. So that would probably take us up to, well, your guess is as good as mine, but I suspect I think it'd be highly unlikely if it's finished this financial year. That brings us on to the current year, and I've no idea how they'll do that.
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Addison wishes to come in.
Councillor Addison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Adrian, how does that impact on the unitary?
Well,
we haven't had a audit finished.
In theory, I can only, sorry, Mr. Mayor, through you, I can only assume that it'll be a job that then gets passed on to the unitary to close down. How they'll do that, I don't know, but I can't answer any more into different circumstances there. So all I can say, Councillor Addison, it'll just be a task that gets transferred to the unitary. I suspect there'll be several. This is, in a way, this is no different to, if you look at this year, they won't be closed down by the time we transfer. So the unitary will have to close those down. They'll also have to close the counties down as well, which I think are 2 years overdue as well. And 1 or 2 other councils in the area. I would add to members, and Councillor Isles will testify to this at the last Audit and Governance meeting, EY do hold their hands up and take full responsibility for it. They aren't saying it's anything that officers of this council have done. They acknowledge that they're under-resourced and under-experienced in this area, and it is a national issue.
Councillor Wellings wishes to come in, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Councillor Wellings.
You're on mute, Councillor Wellings.
Thank you. Adrian, how, a late question, but how was it that Ernst & Young were appointed to do the audit?
There was a national tender through the PSAA. Now the PSA is called the Public Sector Accounts Audit Accountable Body. So it's a national body which is part of the government, and they awarded the contract nationally. So if you remember before, it was KPMG. That contract came to an end, and then it was PSAA opened it out to the country, and EY was successful for our area.
I mean, previous experience that I've had with Ernst & Young is when they're new to a particular sector, is they struggle to grasp the intricacies of that sector. So that possibly is why there is such a delay. So that's unfortunate.
I'm aware that they were grossly understaffed when they took the contract on. Many of the auditors they used on our audit, in the first instance were overseas auditors that had never audited in this country. In effect, the accounts have had to be audited twice because there's been 2 audit teams brought in, one subsequent to that. So I think you're exactly right, Councillor Wellings.
Yeah.
But, Councillor, through the mayor, please. There is another. We do have another speaker, Mr. Mayor. Does Councillor Wellings wish? Mr. Mayor, are you happy for Councillor Wellings?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Carry on. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Tom Beattie wishes to come in.
Okay, Councillor Tom Beattie.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thanks, Adrian, for the clarification. This has been a running sore, I think, for a couple of years. And there is an awareness within government of this. However, that hasn't helped in trying to resolve the problem. I mean, I know that when I meet with colleagues from other councils at the local government association or the district councils network, that the issue of audit is still a live one. And I think the Eastern region in particular, into which we fall, has been one of the worst. So it really is disappointing, I think, to hear that despite the fact that Ernst & Young have known about this, the government have known about this, that still these delays go on. And we have written, when I say we, the LGA have written to government about this and expressing our concerns. So they are aware of it, but it seems that they haven't been able to do anything about it. And I think it puts councils like ourselves in a difficult position. But I think, as Adrian has rightly pointed out, this is through no fault of our own. This is through the fault of the company employed to do the audit by the government, who clearly haven't been able to rise to the task and do the job. So I think we'll continue to make those types of approaches to government, because it's simply not good enough for organisations like us in the public sector not to see our accounts audited in this way through no fault of our own. And I'm pretty sure, were it our fault, we'd soon find out about it. We'd soon get a kick up the backside, I think, from the government if it was anything to do with us as an organisation being unable to do that. Anyway, I think it's on public record that this isn't our fault. It's not the fault of any of the councils who are currently waiting on these things to happen. It's just really, really unfortunate. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Adrian wishes to come in, and then Councillor Wellings again.
Okay, Adrian.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I mean, I would echo that. I mean, I don't know if members are aware, but I also the 151 officer in another authority as well. And working with other auditors, the process has gone smoothly and swimmingly. I can't fault it in any shape or form. The issue is only with those councils, as I understand it, that are using EY as their auditors.
Councillor Welling.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, just to really reiterate the point that an audit is so important, and I know it's incredibly painful to go through an audit, especially when it's extended like this. But at the end of the day, your audit can be your best friend as well, as I'm sure Adrian will agree, as painful as it is once you get through it. Whilst it's not a slick process, and I've dealt with Ernst & Young myself in the past, where it's taken many weeks of my time as well to go through an audit. And at the end of the day, you've got a thorough investigation into your accounts. And all I can say is I hope that we get a result that it's all worthwhile.
All I can say, Councillor Wellings, is that I don't doubt for a minute that absolutely nothing will change in our accounts. All I can say is, yes, I do accept that it's a worthwhile exercise, but I can categorically state that they're not my best friend at the moment.
No, been there. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, there are no other speakers indicating.
Okay, thank you both. Please can I see Councillor Peter McEwen to move the minutes?
Your microphone is off, Councillor McEwen.
He's here, you're muted.
I'd like to move the minutes of the Audit and Governance meeting on the 2nd of September.
Thank you.
And can I see a seconder? Councillor Isles again. All those in favour of receiving the minutes, please show your hands. Against? And abstentions. Thank you. The next item are the minutes of the Grants Committee meetings. Do councillors have any queries or comments they would wish to make?
No one's indicating, Mr. Mayor.
No, good. Please can I see Councillor John McGee to move the minutes?
Thank you, Chair. And just before I move the minutes, a little bit of good news on the Cork Theatre. I'm sure many of you have seen it in the press, but they did apply for a bid from the cultural recovery sector government, and they asked for 198,000 and were granted the full amount, which is great news considering that they're not allowed to be doing what they should be doing at this moment, or fully doing what they should be doing. So that's a big bit of good news, Mr. Mayor. So we then move the minutes.
Thank you, Councillor McGee. That is great news. Can I see a seconder, please?
Councillor Latta.
I'm not sure who got that. We'll give it to Latta. Give it to Latta. All those in favour of receiving the minutes, please show your hands. Those against? And any abstentions? Thank you. The next item are the minutes for the overview and scrutiny panel meetings. Do any councillors have any queries or comments to make on these?
There are no speakers indicating, Mr. Mayor.
No? Okay. So please can I see Councillor Bridget Watts to move the minutes?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Please may I move the minutes of the overview and scrutiny panel on the 22nd of September. Thank you.
Thank you. And can I see a seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor Beevy. All those in favour of receiving the minutes? Those against? And any abstentions?
That's fine, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. The next item are the minutes for the local plan committee meetings. Do any councillors have any queries or comments they'd wish to make?
No speakers, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Please can I see Councillor Anthony Daly to move the minutes?
Thank you. And before I do, congratulations, Councillor Ferguson, doing a very good job as Mayor. Right, I'd like to move the minutes for the 19th of August local plan committee meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. Can I see a seconder?
I'll second.
Oh, okay, I'll let Matt Keane have that one. Councillor Keane. All those in favour of receiving the minutes? Those against? And any abstentions?
That's fine, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so that concludes the minutes of the meetings. There have been no questions to the Leader of the Council on this occasion. And the date of the next meeting has been, the next scheduled full council will be held at 7 p.m. on the 16th of December 2020. The meeting will be conducted via Zoom. Thank you. I just need to confirm we're off YouTube.
Do you want to start reading the exclusion, Mr. Mayor, and I'll close YouTube down while you're doing that.
Yeah. The committee is recommended to consider the following reports in private on the grounds that they contain exempt information as defined in the Local Government Act of 1972.